Hello everyone, how are you all doing? I hope you all are doing good. In today's video, we are going to learn about animal classification, subkingdom chordates and phylum Chordata. So let's start with understanding and learning the characteristics of phylum Chordata. These animals have notochord in their body. Now we can just write down what is the meaning of notochord. It's a cartilaginous skeletal rod supporting the body in all embryonic and some adult chordate animals. Now we know that all the chordates are included in the same phylum, that is phylum Chordata. This phylum Chordata is subdivided into three subphyla, right, which we will be studying in detail. Now looking into the important characteristics of phylum Chordata, notochord is present at least during any developmental stage of the animals. Also, these animals have pharyngeal gill slits present during at least any developmental stage. What are pharyngeal gill slits? These are filter feeding organs found in invertebrate chordates and hemichordates living in aquatic environments. So, of course, it is meant for respiration. Also, spinal cord is present on the dorsal side, that is back side of the body, and heart is present on the ventral side of the body. Followed? Now, this phylum Chordata, as I already told you, is subdivided into three subphyla: Urochordata, Cephalochordata and Vertebrata. Out of the three, Urochordata and Cephalochordata are not divided further, wherein Vertebrata is again subdivided into six classes, that is Cyclostomata, Pisces, Amphibia, Reptilia, Aves and Mammalia. Looking into the characteristics of subphylum Urochordata. These are marine animals and their body is covered with a tunic, skin-like tunic. Larvae of these animals are freely swimming and notochord is only found in the tail region of the larvae. That is why they are called as Urochordata. The larvae metamorphose into adults, means changes its forms into adult, because once it passes larval stage, then it goes to adult stage, and it will only metamorphose into adults after settling down at the bottom of the sea, means it needs some support. These animals are hermaphrodite, means they are bisexual. Followed? So these are the characteristics of Urochordata. Examples are Doliolum and Herdmania. You can see the tunic which is shown in the diagram. Branchial aperture and arterial aperture along with the foot. So you have to remember the diagram along with at least two examples. Then moving on to subphylum Cephalochordata. Now these animals are small fish-like and marine animals again. Notochord will be present throughout the body length. Pharynx is large and it contains gill slits. Okay, again meant for respiration. And these animals, on the contrary, with Urochordata, they are unisexual. Urochordata, we saw they are bisexual. And also, notochord in Urochordata is present only in the tail region of the larvae, whereas here it is present throughout the body length. Moving on to the third subphylum, Vertebrata or Craniata. Vertebrata because we have vertebral column, and Craniata because we have cranium. We will be seeing what exactly these structures are. Now in these animals, the notochord is replaced by the vertebral column and the head is well developed and brain is protected by the cranium, that is skull. That skull bone is called as cranium, and that is why the name Craniata. Endoskeleton means, endo means internal, skeleton means structure which provides support. is either cartilaginous or bony. Either it will be cartilaginous or the bones. Like us, we have endoskeleton as bones. Fishes have cartilages. Some chordates are jawless. They do not have jaws, right? They are called as agnatha. And some are with the jaws. They are called as gnathostomata. This subphylum is divided into 6 classes, which we are going to study in detail. Let us start with the first class, that is cyclostomata. These animals have jawless mouth. Their mouth does not have any jaw, and that is why they are provided with the sucker so that they can feed on to the food. Their skin is soft and they do not have any scale on their skin. They do not have paired appendages also. Also, the endoskeleton is cartilaginous and not bony. Most of these animals are ectoparasites. Parasites means deriving the food material from other organisms, right? So they are living out of their host and they are deriving their nutrition. Example, petromyzon. The diagram you can see, you have to remember eye, very important, then sucker, that is nasopharyngeal aperture is shown there, then body and gill slits. Okay, these are very important labelings which you have to do. Then next class is Pisces, fishes basically. These are cold-blooded, means they are poikilotherms and they cannot adjust their body temperature. They are aquatic animals living in marine and fresh water. Their body shape is spindle shaped, so that while they are swimming, the water resistance is minimum. Also, they have fins, paired and unpaired fins, which help them to swim. The tail fin which they have, it is used as steering organ so that they can use it for propulsion. Exoskeleton, that is outer structure, is in the form of scales, and endoskeleton is either cartilaginous or in some it is bony. Respiration occurs with gills. So here again very important labelings: mouth, eye, gill slits, pectoral fin, pelvic fin, ventral fin, caudal fin, dorsal fin, lateral line. All these labelings you have to show. You can give any example, any name. Here I have shown you with the dogfish. Moving on to the next, that is class Amphibia. These animals are strictly aquatic during their larval life. Means once they are in the larval stage, they will be living in water and they will be performing aquatic respiration. Whereas once they metamorphose into adult, they will perform aerial respiration and they will be living on the land. Okay, so once they reach their adult life, they can perform both kind of respiration, that is aquatic as well as aerial. Also, they have 2 pairs of appendages and their digits are without the claws, means fingers. You can see they are without claws. Exoskeleton they do not have, and they always keep their skin moist, so for the purpose of respiration. You will see frog will always try to keep its skin moist. External ear is also absent, but tympanum is present. Neck is absent, and you can see eyes with prominent eyelids. You can remember the labelings: forearm, leg, nares or nostril, mouth, tympanum, very important, and skin that will be very soft. Moving on to the next class, that is class Reptilia. Now in this particular class, all the animals show creeping movement, means they creep on the land, and they are the first true terrestrial animals. because before that we saw that they are either living in marine water or some of their larval life at least they are spending in water. These animals, they show creeping movement and they are living on the land only. These are cold-blooded animals, again poikilotherms. They cannot adjust their body temperature and they creep on land because their body cannot be lifted up. Their skin is dry and scaly. Neck is present between head and trunk. External ear, again they do not have, and digits are provided with the claws. In amphibia we saw that their digits are not with the claws. Okay, here they are with the claws. Examples: lizards, snake. Any other example also you can use. Labelings to be done, most importantly: ear, head, trunk, nostril, mouth, tail, and toes with the claws. Moving on to the next class, that is class Aves. These vertebrates are completely adapted for aerial life and they are warm-blooded animals because they can maintain their body temperature constant irrespective of the environmental temperature changes. Their body is again spindle shaped to minimize air resistance. In Pisces we saw the body was spindle shaped to minimize water resistance. Here the forelimbs, means the front limbs, they are modified into wings and digits are covered with scales and bear claws. Just like reptiles also bear claws, aves also bear claws. Amphibia class do not have claws. Okay. Exoskeleton is in the form of feathers. Neck is present in between head and trunk. And their jaws are modified into beak because of their food habits. Very important, you can very easy also to draw pigeon. You can label head, beak, eye, neck, claws, feathers and tail feather, right? Moving on to the next class, that is class Mammalia. It shows a very important characteristic, that is the presence of mammary glands, and that is why we are all called as mammals. These animals are warm-blooded animals. Their body is divided into head, trunk and tail. And their digits are provided with the claws, nails or hooves. Their exoskeleton will be in the form of hairs or fur. You can give n number of examples. This is very well known class to us. Bats, elephants, humans, dolphins, kangaroos, any example you can give. If you are labeling bat, you have to label eyes, legs, body, patagium, right, and the tail membrane. So students, thank you for listening to the video.